Hello everyone, my name is KOKOStern, and today on Why You Should, we will begin with a story. I am part of a Facebook group about games, and in that Facebook group, some guy posted a link to the Metacritic page of a game that's recently incoming, which is called The Last of Us. And what he wrote up is, wow, I haven't seen such incredible scores in a while. Now, in case you don't know what Metacritic is, it's simply a website that takes the reviews from every possible place on the internet, not only from, I'd say, professional reviewer sites, such as the big ones such as Joystick and Rock Paper Shotgun and GameSpot and whatever it may be, but also from user scores. Obviously, user scores take a little bit longer because the game isn't actually out yet. The reviews usually come in a couple of days before the game is out, so that will take a little bit longer. But the main reviews are in, and that guy said, wow, I haven't seen such incredible reviews in a long time. So let's actually take a look at that page, at that Metacritic page, and as you can see, The Last of Us is for PlayStation 3. The release date is June 14th, and right now the date is June 6th. And the Metascore is 96, which is insane. And as we can see, Eurogamer Sweden 100, Joystick 100, Push Square 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. Holy sh! Okay, what? No, okay, 98. Calm down, calm down. We get some 98s and we got some a lesser score, but still very, very, very high and positive 56 professional reviewers or reviewers that are considered actual critique reviews on this site. And he said, wow, this is such amazing reviews. So I want to tone down that a little bit and explain how I see these reviews in general. So the first thing we have to do is take a look at The Last of Us and explain what that is. The Last of Us is a AAA game. Now, what does a AAA game mean? In the most simple and basic sense, it's a game that has a lot of people banking on its success in the way that there's a lot of money poured into it, and you can count on it being very polished and advertised pretty much everywhere. Now, I said polished, and when I say polish, I mean that you could expect a lot of quality assurance went through it, which means that there is no huge crashes or bugs or huge things that are simply wrong with the game, and that generally speaking, it's going to be a decent experience, a good experience that you can expect. We don't know if it's going to be a holy fricking barbecue, what the hell kind of experience that is simply incredible and amazing and life-changing, like some games tend to be, but it's going to be a good experience no matter what you do. It's going to be a game that's pretty good. And you can't do anything about that because so much money and so many people have worked on it that it's going to look pretty good, it's going to work on most computers, it's not going to crash too much, and it's just a decent, good game. And I want to compare it just a little bit to, say, a blockbuster, high action, just a good action movie. In the way that, action movies, they're pretty predictable. They do very well because you have the predictable action. You know pretty much what's going to happen. The good guys are going to win at the end, and it's a good experience. And you go to enjoy it because it's going to be pretty cool to see the explosions and the special effects and all that, and might have a twist or two in there. But generally, it's a decent experience that you can expect. And movies, these types of movies usually get kind of destroyed by critics because critics are it's just a standard boring movie. There's nothing special there. But games is a lot different, and in the sense, The Last of Us, such as this game, it's very, very different. As you can see, a ton of hundreds. So I want to put everything in perspective just a little bit. First things first, The Last of Us, I haven't played it, so I can't say that it's a bad game or a good game or anything about it. But you have to take these type of things in perspective because The Last of Us, it's probably not an insanely amazing game. Again, I don't know, but to get so many hundreds, you have to think about what does it mean? Because 100 out of 100 is the full score, which means this game, if I play it, my life needs to be changed. My life needs to be completely different from when I started it and when I finished it, because it's that incredible of experience. That's how I see a score of 100. And because I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that it's not going to be that way, then all these scores of 100, it's so many hundreds and such high praise that we have to take this in a little bit of perspective. And I actually really hate giving scores to games, specifically because in a lot of cases, we're comparing two games according to their scores, and it's something that I don't think you can actually do. And you have to speak about each game very specifically. Now, in order to take any of these scores into account, you have to read the entire review, because that you have to really take everything that the reviewer took in and try and see where's the good points and where's the bad points. And since there's 100 at everything, that means that there's no bad points, which doesn't exist. Nothing is perfect, obviously. So there has to be some kind of a couple of wrong things in the game, and you want to see what are the things that made people mad. And that I'm pretty much, in most cases, obviously I'm not going to read everything, but if I want to take a review, I'm going to take the worst reviews first. And the reason is, not because I'm a naysayer and I want this game to fail or something like that, but the reviews that didn't give it a full, perfect 100, they found the wrong parts, and the wrong parts, the bad parts, were substantial enough for them to reduce the score from a perfect 100. And these things might be very monumental to me, might not be monumental to someone else. And if we want to look at the general person, the general player, apparently really liked it because 100 to everyone. But some people found something wrong with the game. Some people found that it is not perfect. And those opinions are the opinions that I care about more so. And that those reviews are the ones that I actually want to read. Now, if we look at every AAA game, most of AAA games that have insane amounts of people, insane amounts of money behind them, and insane amounts of advertising behind them, they get very good scores. For the simple fact that, like we said, it's a very polished experience. It can't be bad. It cannot be bad. It has to be minimum decent, minimum pretty good. It can be bad because there's so much money into it. And the graphics have to be pretty good, and they can't have any random crashes. And it's going to be a pretty good experience no matter what you do. Similar, in similar fashion to a good action movie. It's going to be a good action movie. It has so much money behind it. It's going to be pretty decent if you know what to expect. And these games are pretty much the same way. It's going to be good. It's going to get decent reviews. It's going to be pretty freaking good reviews in the sense that it gets the 80, the 85, the 90s because it's pretty good. But is it just like any other thing? I mean, if we want to take a look at shooters, these games that are AAA, in most cases, lowest common denominator. They're just going to be generally good, generally acceptable, not trying to do anything too amazing. And they're just going to be pretty good, like most of the shooters. I don't want to, again, be a hater of Call of Duties and Battlefields. But those games, no matter what you do, they come out once every year, and they're basic generic shooters that we've seen 1,000 times before. They don't really innovate, but they're pretty good. And I don't say that they're shitty, horrible games that no one should play. People like shooters. These shooters are good. They're good shooters. You can't do anything about that. They've been doing it for so long, and they have so much money and backing behind them that the shooting is good in that game. It's nothing new, but the shooting is good, and that's why the reviews and the scores are so high. With that, you have to take a look at what the game actually offers, and that's why I take every review for a AAA game with a very large grain of salt. And specifically, I'm going to tell you the reviewers that I like the most. I don't really love anyone, because anyone I disagree with at times in a really big way. It just comes out that I completely disagree with someone, so I can't really be a fanboy of any one side or the other. But one of the sites that I find reliable more than so is actually GameSpot, which is the biggest one, and you wouldn't expect it. A lot of people dislike GameSpot because their reviews are so lies, and they get paid in order to give good reviews to stuff. But I actually think I agree with them in most cases, and they do point out the important things. And as you can see, the game that got 100 on pretty much everybody in the universe and incredibly huge scores, GameSpot gave it an 80 for various reasons. So they're pretty reliable in my sense. Now, I have to also talk about specifically The Last of Us. It was released by Naughty Dog. And Naughty Dog they make exactly what I was talking about earlier. They make action movies in the sense of games. Action adventure movies. And I personally don't like those. That's why I haven't really played any of the Uncharted games, which are their past games, that were insanely highly praised because they were really good games in what they did. But what they did is basic action adventure movie. They put it into a game. And me personally, I just don't enjoy it. It doesn't mean that a ton of other people don't enjoy it. They do. We've seen that those games were incredible and did so well. But for me personally, The Last of Us seems like one of those games, and according to all of the 100 reviews, and also the reviews that I trust a little bit more that actually tell me exactly what the game does, which is in this case the GameSpot one, it's pretty much, I knew exactly what this game is coming. Now, I might actually end up playing it. I think there's one for the PC as well, and not just the PlayStation. I might be wrong, actually. It might be only for the PlayStation. But still, what I'm trying to do for today, take these things with a grain of salt, especially AAA games. The fact that there's tons of advertisement and amazing trailers and tons of talk about it just means that there's a lot of money behind it. It doesn't mean that it does anything innovative and interesting and new. It might be just the general shooter that you've seen 1,000 times before, or the general action-adventure game that you've seen 1,000 times before. That might be exactly what you're looking for. But for me, I just don't really like the generic kind of stuff that are really easy and very predictable and very linear in the way that the gameplay is linear itself. I don't say that the game is linear, but the gameplay is very predictable and expected. And I want innovation. I want interesting concepts and interesting things. That's why these games don't really do it for me specifically. So that's it. Just be careful of reviews and take everything with a big grain of salt, even the ones that you love the most, and especially the ones that just give 100s, because I don't really trust anyone that gives 100 to anything, because the game needs to be life-changing in order to get perfect score for me, and most of these AAA games aren't life-changing. They're just pretty good, and that's about it. So that's it for me today. Thanks a lot for watching. I really hope you enjoyed my critique of Metacritic. And that's it for today. I'll see you guys next time.